I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans.
And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field.
Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We can even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
Hey everybody, welcome to POSTGAME. We are presented as always by our friends at Channel Seed, and not a fun postgame show we got for you today. Iowa State blown out at home by Kansas State. We'll talk about it. Thank our other sponsors, the Natuzel boys, Clay and Chase, diehard Cyclone fans. They're hurting after this one, I can promise you that. But you don't have to be hurting when you look at your retirement statement. Maybe they can help you grow in 2025. They're with the Natuzels, Clay and Chase, financial advisors with Raymond James. Also, Keen Project Solutions, of course, with Channel Seed as well. Just an absolute major letdown today for Iowa State, no matter how you slice it up. Iowa State doesn't lose at home by 19 to anyone, especially Kansas State with all the drama coming into this one. This does have a little bit of a rivalry feel to it between the programs. I do think that. And, also we'll get into everything Iowa State did wrong, but you tip your hat to Kansas State too. That is an improving team. They've won 3 in a row. And they certainly look the part here today in Hilton Coliseum. You got to give credit where it's due. And they won the 50-50 balls. They hit the shots when they needed to. They had the response when Iowa State, anytime Iowa State would feel like they were hitting the gas to make this thing a game, Kansas State would make that hustle play, that 50-50 play, maybe hit an open 3, and you give them a lot of credit too, because they were kicking some butt there, specifically to start the second half, where Kansas State goes on a 26-1 run, or 21-6 run. I'm sorry, to start the second half. So, what in the world happened today to the Cyclones? And I would start where this has been a developing trend, right? Where Iowa State's problems specifically in the half court on the offensive end. This is the second game in a row where Iowa State's had 18 turnovers. And it's hard to be a top 5 basketball team when you're turning the ball over so much, and that it just continuously it feels like we're hammering this every game, and it feels like I don't know what the answer is, but whatever it is not working. And it's spacing, it's all sorts of stuff. But they're 3-3 now since Momcilovic went out of the lineup. Okay, so. What is that fix there? Today, what really stands out to me, Keyshawn Gilbert, not at his best. 5 turnovers for Keyshawn today. He goes 3 of 9 from the floor. Didn't feel like much of a factor out there. You had a pretty good game. Lipsy, I thought, was really good, 20 for him. But, here's where this happened, and this is where Otts is going to be really upset. You got to look at these 2 statistics, okay? So first of all, the turnovers, right? Like, covered that. We all know that. We all saw it. But you got to go to offensive rebounds for Kansas State. 14 of them resulting in 21 second chance points. 14 offensive rebounds resulting in 21 second chance points. That is an absolute dagger. Sometimes the ball will give you a negative bounce, all that stuff. That is an effort statistic. And again, it looked like one team was a lot scrappier than the other today. We also have to ask ourselves this question, I think, what is this, year 4 or 5, 4 of the Otts era? And we've seen these kind of like stalls in late January, early February. And it appears that the team is in one right now, right? And you really didn't want to see it after the Arizona game.
Chris, you are muted. I think your mic came unplugged.
Am I back? Okay, I'm back.
You're good.
Sorry about that. Yes, I was moving my computer for the nice media relations assistant, and I must have unplugged my mic. I apologize. You got to talk about, because it looked to me like I refuse to do the team didn't try thing. Like that's usually bogus. Like the teams are always trying, but they lost a lot of 50-50 balls, and this team generally doesn't do that. When you heard Bill Self talk 2 weeks ago, when Iowa State won by 17, Bill Self said, this is a team that's really good at 50-50 balls, right? Like, so they're the same group of individuals. They're not just not trying now. But what is it about this that about every year around late January and to mid-February, it seems like this program kind of goes into a little bit of a lull. And I don't know. I thought that, like, on Monday's game, I thought they competed really well. They deserved to win that game. They lost on a half-court shot, whatever, and they deserved to win this game. There was nothing about this game. There were lapses on defense that you don't see. There was the lack of blocking out, which was clear. I thought they looked really, really tired and didn't have their legs, and I don't know what the answer is. We've always seen them bounce out of it. But you were a 15-point favorite today and got run off your home court by 19. That has to be addressed. I don't know what else to say about that. Like, that tells you all that you need to know. Despite the fact that Kansas State's getting better, all that can still be true. But there's nothing acceptable about losing by 19 to anybody in Hilton Coliseum, especially in front of a sold-out crowd that was absolutely on fire to start this game. So, okay, let's go back to some more of the specifics here in this basketball game. I talked about Gilbert. Got an issue going on there. The consistency's just gone with him, and I don't know exactly why. But he, the guy we saw in the second half at Arizona was certainly not here tonight. Which was unfortunate. It feels like Lipsey's the most consistent player on the team right now, with Joshua Jefferson, that is. Where you're having issues the most right now with Iowa State is the depth that you thought you had is not as deep as it appeared 3 weeks ago. And I'm talking about guys like Heisey, Watson, and Chatfield. Watson is incredibly active. He had 7 rebounds in 21 minutes today, so that's great. You want to see that. When you go to him, you're going for rebounding. I see what they were doing today. So the problem is with Heisey, because Nate. So I have all these people on my Twitter feed. Why is he playing? And he's playing because of his defense, because of his on-ball defense. In Iowa State, when you're down by, they get down 19 there in the second half, they come back, get it within 7 or whatever it was. You needed stops. So that's why you go to him there. But the problem is he's a total 0 on offense at this point. 0 field goal attempts today, 3 personal fouls in 13 minutes, and only 1 rebound. So, again, like what you thought was your depth is not turning out to be like middle of the season depth. So you've got to get that figured out. And it's now accentuated, with Momcilovic out of the lineup. Okay, so, that is to me, when I look what's wrong with Iowa State, you ask me, it's less about the first 6 guys. And, in Chatfield, 15 minutes today, but he's a 0 on offense now. So you have these guys who, even against good teams early on, guys who were playing really well against Kansas and like other good teams. It's not like they were just out there feasting on directional Tennessee schools. They're now like providing you nothing on offense. And smarter basketball people than me will be able to figure it out. But there's been scouting, and Iowa State has to find a way to adjust. The good thing is Iowa State continues to get points off of turnovers. 26 of them today. You outscore them by 8. However, when you're giving up 21 second chance points, it all but negates it. So again, I don't have I do, like, everybody wants to burn the world down, and I get it. Been doing this a long time. Totally expected. This team will bounce back. I don't know if it'll be on Monday. Maybe going on the road in Allen Fieldhouse is what they need. I don't exactly know. But this is, again, a thing that we've seen time and time again now, where there's this, like, mid-season lull. Maybe they work them. I don't know. But it looked to me, again, like when Jones goes 1 of 11 at Arizona, I said his legs he just didn't look fresh. And that's how I thought kind of the whole team looked today. There's going to be some film out there that these guys are not going to want to sit down and watch with their coaches today or tomorrow when they come in and do that. Because the 50-50 balls were not 50-50 today. They were 80-20 in favor of Kansas State. And that's what this program hangs its hat on, and that's what they have to get back to. You know, when Momcilovic went out, we kind of thought you were going to see Iowa State get back to more of a grinded out, disgusting, that type of style. You just gave up 80 to, you know, an average Kansas State team at home. Kansas State, well, it evened out. Iowa State only took, I think, 18 field goals in the first half. Like there were a lot of stats from today that you knew you were in trouble when you were like 6 of 9 from 3 at halftime and you were losing. That is a terrible sign for a team that's ranked in the top 5 in the country. So they've got to get, like, here's the deal, because I don't have a ton of faith that their half-court offense is just going to, like, snap out of this. Just doesn't feel like it to me. Just don't. They've got to get back to this killer instinct on defense and feast there. The problem is you're looking at Kansas now, and you got to go to Lawrence on Monday, and that's one of the best defensive teams in the country. Okay? That is one of the top defensive teams in the country. So, you know, and I know Iowa State beat them by 17 without Momcilovic the first time. Yeah, but that was on one day. Like, now there's all this tape out there you can scout. That is a tough challenge coming up on Monday night on short rest. Tough stuff here today for Iowa State. I am going to just peruse through the comments here and see if anybody is any good stuff for me. Yeah, no, you guys are pretty much saying the same thing as I am. Yeah, so here we are. But there's no way to put it. This was a bad loss, and Iowa State has a lot of questions, a lot more questions than answers right now. I am not panicking. But this is a quad 3 loss. Now I bet you money it was coming into the game. I'll bet you money that Kansas State's metrics will improve enough after winning that they'll jump right up, and this will be a quad 2 loss. Iowa State, hey, if you like the KenPom and stuff, don't look at it tonight because it's going to get ugly. Okay, Iowa State's going to drop in a lot of categories tonight, and rightfully so, right? They are going to tank in a lot of this stuff coming up here in the next 24 hours. Then you go to Kansas on Monday, and you got to get this thing turned around. It's not, and the thing is, too, it is a deal where we've seen them do this. You didn't necessarily expect it this year because you thought you had more depth, and while this team still is deep, it's not that deep now without Momcilovic, and we're starting to see guys who you wanted to be, role-type dudes, and they're just not cutting it right now in this tough stretch of the Big 12. Heisey, Watson's good. I don't know if he's a 21-minute-a-game guy like he played today, but his rebounding rate is off the charts, so that's great. At least he does something like really well when he's on the floor. Right now, Chatfield and Heisey are really, really struggling to earn their minutes, I think. And frankly, they just got to find a way to get more stop. I know that they forced 18 turnovers today, so I can't. But it's the second chance points, man. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that to anybody, especially a Big 12 team. One that came in here and wanted to kill you. And, it was a big talking point. The Iowa State media and fans coming into this one, everything that happened in this game last year, your hat goes off to Jerome Tang and how they handled it. They were awesome. They came in here, and Tang was, for the most part, a really good sport, smiling with all the boos and all that stuff. He was really impressive. I loved Otzelberger's technical. It looked like he got that on purpose, and it did work. Iowa State went on a big run after that. But every time Iowa State would be, they went on like a 10-0 run there, got it within 7, and then it would just be you would miss a front end of a 1-and-1 or just dumb turnover or stuff like that. They couldn't get over that hump today. So here you are. That is the situation. Iowa State gets run out of its home court by Kansas State. That is a tough pill to swallow. But as our old Chris Berman, remember him on NFL Primetime? That's why they play the games. We'll see you guys on Monday night. I'll have pregame at 7:30 here. And Williams and Bloom coming up on Sunday night, as always. Big loss today for the Cyclones. Final 80-61. We'll see you guys on Sunday night. Later.